We are live. Let's fix this. Let's turn. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Let's see. Fix that. I got a thumbs up. And we got a views. We shall wait for you guys to appear. So we got 2 people watching. Kind of a little spontaneous going live action today. Okay, now you guys are starting to come in. We got the albino Nelsons freshly shed with me today. We're gonna avoid the pooping reptiles for this video because I don't really feel like being pooped on today. I turned this light off, so it looks like the lighting's pretty good. Let's see if we can turn the chat back on. Oh, okay, I think it's on. I really wanted to try the laptop for this live stream. This is the tablet, and that's what I've been shooting on for the last 2 live streams. But I have the computer up back here behind me, and it appears I've got to do some type of downloading for something. I don't know. I'll play around with that later. I just want to jump on here and see how your guys' middle of the week is going. So let's see. We're gonna play around here and videos, dashboard, video manager. Like I said, I was really hoping that I could do this on the laptop and maybe have some better features than what this laptop or what this tablet gives me. But nonetheless, we will just roll with it, and I'll figure out the laptop version of this later. But so we got the Nelson's milk snake here, the little male, little phoenix is what I like to call him. So how's your guys' week going so far? Anybody somebody throw down a chat real quick just so I can make sure that this thing is all turned on correctly. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, then you don't know that I was in Florida this weekend. Unfortunately, I was not at the Daytona show. I didn't realize when we were booking the vacation that was the weekend until it was really close. And it was it wasn't a family vacation. It was an anniversary vacation. So the wife and I went down and enjoyed the weekend. So I couldn't really just derail all that to go to the other side of the coast to the Daytona show. But next year I am going to make sure that weekend we do go down, that we'll be hitting up that Daytona show, because that's been a dream of mine, was to go to that show. So wasn't able to do it this year, but next year for certain, I will be down there enjoying that show. But what I'm really looking forward to, and that is coming up in a couple of months, and that is the Tinley Park show. So I definitely want to be going to that. I think I'm going to design a new shirt that I'm going to be offering up for sale. For anybody who's interested, of course, you got to go check out the Facebook page for those details. Links will be provided in the video below. But we're not here to sell you merchandise. We are here to talk about the reptiles. So anybody up hit the shows this weekend? Anybody in the chat that may have hit the Daytona show? I'd love to hear your feedback on that, how you felt the show was. And like I said, because next year I definitely want to go down and visit that show. So we'll make that happen, but unfortunately I gotta wait. So again, here is, for those that are just jumping into this video, we've got Phoenix here, which is my Nelson's camera shy milk snake. Oh, and somebody was asking me about my finger. I smashed that in a ladder. That's why it's black. It's not like some gothic thing or anything like that where I'm painting my fingernails. Not that I have any problem with you guys painting your fingernails. It's just not for me. But yeah, that's what happened. I smashed it, and surprisingly it hasn't fallen off yet. But yeah, who cares, right? It happens. So I don't know, how's your guys' weeks going? kind of something I seen earlier today in one of the Facebook reptile groups. How about these GoFundMe things where people are asking, for GoFundMe pledges for these crazy reasons. Like I seen one last week where they bought, I believe it was a tegu, and they suddenly realized that, hey, my little lizard's gonna get big, and they opened a GoFundMe for people to pay to so they could buy a bigger cage. Like, what the heck is going on? Why? First of all, very few things I think are GoFundMe worthy, but something like that, like seriously, you know, I'm gonna go buy an alligator then, and then have you guys all go fund me because I suddenly didn't realize, hey, this alligator is gonna get too big, and I'm gonna need, a 2-car garage to keep this thing in the wintertime because Ohio's winters are horrible. It's like, do your research. Like, why suddenly should I pay for your cage? And then another one I seen today, and I don't want to get too specific, but somebody in Hawaii apparently caught a wild Jackson's chameleon. It's a female chameleon, and it's sick, it's dying. I get it, but they threw up a GoFundMe for $500 for vet bills, which it hasn't even seen a vet because apparently she can't find a vet. But suddenly now she wants $500 for everybody to help her get her chameleon well, which I'm all fine and dandy. It's just that you haven't seen a vet. It's a wild caught animal, and ultimately it's illegal for you to have in Hawaii. So let's see. When you're ready, can you please show the carpet python? Certainly, I'll get him out in just a moment. He's one that doesn't poop on me, so I'll be gladly to get that fella out. So the GoFundMe thing, so there's so many red flags with that one. Like, and then the whole GoFundMe thing is all tugging at your heartstrings. It's their kid's favorite pet. They captured it. They were gonna let it go. They fell in love with it. The kids love it. Now it's dying. They need help. They got medical expenses, but yet it's not been to a vet. And anything above the vet cost to get this thing healthy, they're going to invest in a better cage, more caging equipment, and a friend. Now, seriously, what's up? Seriously, like, if you really knew chameleons, you know that they don't really need friends. That they like to. They are an animal that you keep singly. So, crazy. I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts? Am I just being insensitive to these people, or do you also think like these are just foolish GoFundMe things where it's like, hey, that's your pet, you chose it. Now pony up the dough and take care of it. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I have too much of a sense of responsibility, and I just think like, you buy it, you should have researched it, or, I actually looked it up. There is, you're absolutely right. Some people are crazy. So, hold on. My dog is barking. Let me go find out what's wrong with him. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. I don't know what the dog was barking at. She is a young pup, and she gets scared easily, so I don't know. It wasn't like a bark like intruder, it was more like a bark I'm hurt, but she looks fine. I don't know. She must have startled herself. I have no idea. She spooks easily. I ain't kidding. Like, she has a big long tail. She'll knock things off the counter, and when it hits the floor, she runs like it's attacking her. So who knows what with her, silly dog. Anyways, where was I at? Oh yeah, somebody wanted to see the carpet python. We can get that guy out here shortly. But we're going to just hold on to this guy for a little bit longer. But so how's your guys? Yeah, I was busy. I was completely out of the loop far as anything reptilian this last weekend. So anybody hit up the shows? I know in Ohio the Cleveland and Columbus show was going on, and obviously I was in Florida, so I did not attend those. But anybody hit up the shows, pick up new animals? So feel free to let us know what you got, because I am a little secret that I wasn't really going to share, but there is a few animals that are in the near future that will be added to the collection, to the group, to the clan, to the family here. So, but you guys will have to wait until I actually pick them up before I will tell you any more than that. So yeah, it's a little teaser for you guys that are here in the live. Of course, this will be on the channel once we're done. So let me put this guy back, and then we will get, as requested, we will get the carpet python back out and let you guys see him. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. He is put away. We are back. Here we go. Get the chair. There you go. As you requested, here is the little jungle carpet python. Now you may see him kind of strike at me, but that's just fine. That's just kind of the way they are when they're youngsters. But we'll get through it, won't we, little buddy? Yeah, see, he's grumpy. He is grumpy, but it's all good. We love him anyways. Let's see. Thank you. And I got a fireball python. Ooh. So I think that said from. If I can't get that chat, yeah, it's gone. See, that's what I don't like. What is your favorite? And a want to own. Yeah. See that. That's why I was hoping to go live on the laptop, and that. Okay, here we go. You're not exactly right. The GoFundMe thing has gone too far. You have people that are doing GoFundMe accounts for people who died, and they can't even. Exactly. I've seen that as well. And then I've actually seen people start GoFundMes for people they don't even know. It's like, are you seriously going to give them that money? It's crazy. But I think I got this chat figured out. I got to kind of hold this, it looks like. So, yeah, some people are crazy. So, let's see. What is your favorite Australian species, both that you have owned and want to own? Well, carpet pythons are definitely one of my favorites. I mean, just about anything that... What? You totally missed. I don't even know what that was about. There's a lot of cool stuff that's Australian native. Now, that's not the face. It's... turn you down. Obviously I like carpet pythons regardless if they're angry little noodles. But I like let's see what all is out of Australia. Of course, the blue tongue. I have a blue tongue. I definitely enjoy that guy. What I don't own, green tree pythons. I do love those guys. You are especially angry today. So, yes. Let's see, what else? Off the top of my head. Woman pythons. There's lots of, pretty much almost anything, really, to be completely honest. Really no reptiles are off there. So let's see. I got a fire spider ball python from Garrick DeMeyer. That's pretty awesome. Stevie, my albino, that is back there on the wall. Let's see, I don't think we can see it from this angle, but my albino ball python came from Garrick DeMeyer as well, many years ago. I got another question here. Do you own any boas? I do own a boa. I have she is about a 5-foot sunglow. I would get her out, but she is in the midst of shed, and this guy is a little cranky. I would get her out, but she's going to be shedding, so we're going to let her be. But she will eventually make an appearance on one of these live chats when I do the live chat, and she's actually, not behaving. She doesn't really misbehave. It's just, animals are act a little differently when they're going to be shedding, and this guy is constantly tracking my face. So, okay, here's another question. I plan on getting either a black and white tegu or a male or Nate. Now, for my female, also plan to get a Savannah monitor sex so that I can call him, her by. Okay, that's pretty cool. I do have a Savannah monitor myself as well. They're and he's getting quite big. I would love to. I don't know if you can kind of barely see the corner of his cage. But speaking of the Savannah monitor, I'm hopefully going to be starting the build process of his next enclosure. Of course, the whole process will be documented, and the videos will be uploaded to my channel. Once they're ready to once they're ready to be shown. Look at this little guy. You missed. So we'll just kind of put you like that. How long have you had your boa? Okay, so my boa, I have had her now, it's 2017. So I've had her for approximately 5 years now. But I bought her when she was approximately 4 to 5 years old. So her size is greatly been affected by the previous owner, because I bought her at around, like I said, oh no, a snake is loose. Come back here. Yeah, somebody is getting. See, now that he realizes that biting is not going to make me put him down. Now he's in the flight mode, but we'll get him to hold on to my hand, and he should calm down. If you can get them to wrap on, then generally they will stay still. So let's see. So my boa, I've had her for approximately 5 years, and she's about 10 years old. And so her size has been greatly stunted, and that was a lot of the previous owner. Of course, it makes it easier for me to say that, but reason I believe that is this: when I purchased the boa, she was sold to me as kind of nippy and food aggressive. So here I purchased this 4-foot snake that I was told I had to be careful that she might bite me. So I got her, and I set up her habitat, I put her in it, and I just fed her for a couple weeks and just left her alone, because obviously if she's nippy, she needs some time to adjust to the new environment. With that said, she has never, in the 5 years that I've owned her, ever showed me any signs of aggression. She has a strong feeding response, yes, but she's never tried to bite me. She's never showed me any kind of aggression that she was going to bite me. So that's why I'm saying I believe that she was underfed by the previous owner, and that's where he mistakenly, or maybe he wasn't mistaken, maybe he knew and he just represented the animal in that manner. But regardless, she's with me now. I use her in the educational program, and the children love her. So, and it took me 2 years before I even let my daughter hold her on her own. So, I was very cautious in that, because again, I was warned that she was nippy. But I've never had an issue with her. So, I have. I'm not sure what that means. Hey man, I've lost a 50 in pike at. Oh, you lost a 50. Oh, okay, I gotcha. I see who it is, Dawson. You lost a 50-inch pike? Dang, that's gotta suck. I definitely gotta hear that story later, dude. Let's see. I built both of my monitors enclosures as well as my bearded dragon enclosure. Wish I could help you on yours. How long have you had your Savannah? I bought. Sorry, Tuss. I totally I was totally confused by. I didn't realize you were talking about fish. Ouch. A little booger. That was my bad, Dawson. Uh, so how long have I had my Savannah? You have to go back. I believe I picked it up in March or April. There was a video. Um, so it's larger than, he is now larger than a leopard gecko, easily bigger than a leopard gecko. Um, so he definitely is, which I knew he was going to grow big. I had no delusions that I was going to be able to keep him in that. I figured easily by the first 9 months to 12 months that I was going to have him in his adult size cage, that everybody recommends, which is the old 4 foot by 8 foot. But to be completely honest, if I have the space in the next house, he is going to get much bigger of an enclosure than that. But that's what we're going to work with for now. So that's how long I've had it. Probably, I bought it earlier in the springtime. So unfortunately, when all the import babies are coming in. So, let's see. Got another question here. What is your favorite morph and why? Ugh. Well, if we're talking ball pythons, I really like a lot of stuff that has the clown mixed in there. It's just a morph that I'm drawn to. And if you remember my collection, I have a male ball python that is het for clown, and I will eventually get him a nice combo female, and we'll produce something cool with that, I'm sure. When it comes to, okay, so corn snakes are another one of my favorite reptiles, one of my favorite snakes. So my favorite morph there is, I like a lot of stuff with the lavender gene. So, that's my goal, is to play around with that. But honestly, what I'm hoping for, and I kick myself every time I think about this, but last October, yeah, it was last October, the Tinley Park show, there was a striped Miami corn by Captive Creations, Walter Smith. He produced it. Beautiful snake. Well worth every penny he was asking for it. But I just didn't have the cash. Otherwise, I'd have snatched it up. And if you don't know what that looks like, go look for, I believe his company's name is Captive Creations, but look for Walter Smith. Amazing animals that guy has, and I definitely want to get something from him eventually. You love the bull snake. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, it's a pine snake. But it's all good, though. They're very similar, and I often mistakenly call him a bull snake as well. So if you think he's a bull snake because of my miswording, then I am fully apologize to you. But bull snakes are great. Pine snakes are great. Gophers are good, but they're a little small. So if you like a smaller snake, that's definitely a good option. But yeah, he's the pine snake. He's pretty cool dude. I love Savannahs too. They're really, this dude is that I have. He's still very skittish, but I love the few chances a week that I might get to see him. Usually when it's time to eat or right after he eats, and I catch him basking. So yeah, I can't wait for him to get a little bit size to him, and we can really start working with him. So let's see. Do you strike feed your snakes, or do you drop feed them? Actually, what I like to do, for the most part, if I can, is I allow them to strike. Okay, so I feed frozen thawed. Everything I have eats on frozen thawed, with the exception of that one male ball python. Occasionally, he has to take like a fresh kill, because I don't trust him to kill it himself humanely. He would just be a complete goof, and probably hurt himself more than hurting the rodent. But so what I do is I feed frozen thawed. I dangle it from the tongs, and once the snake grabs it, I do give it a little shake. And here's why. Now, I'm certain that somebody's going to come along and tell me that I'm encouraging aggressive behavior, blah, blah, blah. But simply put, it's like this. Those snakes do two things. They like to sleep and they like to eat. And occasionally there's a third thing in there, but that's a seasonal thing. But regularly they eat and they sleep. So once they eat, they go sleep, and they don't really move around until it's time to eat again. So what I like to do, the reason I give that dead mouse a shake and make that snake rapid, is I make him use his muscles. And exercise those muscles, and that's what those muscles are there for, is to squeeze. So that is why I do it. There's nothing more. I don't I don't get excitement. I don't think, oh I don't think it's cool. It's, to me, it's pure exercise for the snake, for them to flex their muscles in that manner. You love the, okay, Dawson, you love the lavender bubble gums. Yeah, see, that's my goal, is to put a lot of, again, he just wants to track my face. My goal for my lavenders is to create, to get them with a lot of pink in them. I have some ideas. I'm not quite ready to share exactly, what's going into the mix that I think will help achieve that in my personal project. But I will eventually share that information. But I kind of want to wait till I'm a little bit further into the project before I, give out those details. But yeah, that's my goal, is to get a lot of pink on those lavenders of mine. The jungle acts like any other carpet when it's young. Carpet is trying. Yeah, and you're perfectly right. That's why I know that's the way he's going to be, and I accept it. It's fine. I totally understand that this is what I'm going to get into while they're a baby, and eventually, he'll learn. He's going to do one of two things. He's either going to learn that I'm not going to hurt him, or he's finally going to get to a size where he understands I can't hurt him. So, and then he's going to chill out. But yeah, babies in typical, it don't matter what snake it is. A lot of babies are always little nippy, and you just have to roll with it, and just like, see, he's learning right now that, and you can see he's the striking has slowed down. In fact, he's going to start just trying to crawl away from me now. So you just have to hang in there, and it's best to work with them when they're like this than when they're big. Let's see, what is your Instagram name? I would like to follow you. My Instagram is Reptile Jones. In the description of this video later, once I'm done going live, I will add that details to the bottom. But any of my videos in the last 6 months all have my social media links in the description. So just when you click on a video, click on the description, and it will drop down, and all the links to that will be there. So, yep. Fat Jackson, he knows. He follows me on Instagram, and I'm certain I follow him back too. I usually will, I don't follow for follow or sub for sub on YouTube, because I don't want you to sub to my channel if you don't like my videos, and because having a sub is one thing, but if I don't have people viewing, I don't have interaction, you guys commenting, it's just boring. I'm posting videos, and it's all about communication with you guys that makes this worth doing. I love to share what I'm doing with you guys, so I like to hear what you guys have to say. So YouTube, I will not subscribe for subscribe, but on Instagram, if you post reptile video, or not videos, but reptile photos, because it's Instagram, you can do videos as well. But I mean, if your channel has got a lot of reptilian stuff in it, I typically follow back. It doesn't have to be 100%, but you get the idea. It says, do you think you'll get any more, this is Josh the Lizard Man, do you think you'll get any more Australian species? Yes, certainly. For certain, there is, I would love to have a frail dragon, but I don't have the space for what an adult will get to, so I'm not going to purchase one of those yet until I can commit to an adult space. So that's one of the things I don't think a lot of people take into consideration when they purchase animals. I always think about, do I have the space for it as adult? Because right now I do have room for a baby frail. That's pretty simple. But I always try to keep in mind the size of the animal it's going to get to, and if I have space for that. Now I don't. Again, there's some things kind of working behind the scenes a little bit. So there is another fair-sized lizard that may be eventually entering the reptile room. Oh no, he's got a little. Hold on here. There we go. He just suddenly just got a spurt. See, are you ready to go back? Are you done being on YouTube for now? This is it. Okay, we're gonna put him back. We'll get somebody else out, maybe one of the corns, and then I'll come back with your guys' and answer your guys' comments. So feel free to keep posting them, and I will catch up with them. So let's put this guy back. Let's see. Corn snake. How about this guy? We got a milk snake. How about another milk? How about a Cinnalone milk snake? Here we go. And this is the male Cinnalone, and you can always quickly tell because he has these two half saddles, and the female does not have those. Those technically, if you look at his pattern, those actually shouldn't even be there. So, but that's pretty cool. That's just him being him. So let's see. Did I miss anything? I answered the Australian. Why do people say when you feed your snakes, they become more aggressive? Okay, I kind of went in through that, but okay. So the whole ideal behind this, the whole misconception is, at least in my opinion, is because I think because the snake is acting aggressively, that you somehow are promoting this. I disagree, because look, this is all my snakes. I feed that way, and with the exception of that carpet python, but which is just a baby, so that really doesn't come into play. But look at this snake. Does this snake look aggressive? Not even in the least bit. He's actually just crawling around, being curious, and no aggression, not trying to bite, not being mean. So I disagree with anybody who says that causes, snakes to be aggressive. I don't want to make myself sound like superior in knowledge, but I've been doing this for 17 years, and I've had snakes solidly for 17 years, and I've fed the same manner. And again, I do it simply for the fact that it gives them some exercise. Otherwise, they eat and then they sleep until they poop and eat again. Yeah, they crawl around a little bit, but how much muscle are they actually using just to, crawl around the floor of their cage versus, wrapping and holding on, and that's why I do it. I know some people will disagree, and you know what, they have every right to, but that doesn't make them right, nor do I think I'm superior in knowledge, but that's what I do it for. I have seen nothing that suggests that it makes them more aggressive. So let's see. This one says, what all do you feed your Savannah? Oops, no, go. Okay, here we go. I buy a lot of scraps from Westside Mart on Sundays for great deals. Okay, so what I have been feeding him mostly is the grub pie from Rapashi. Let me go. I'll show you. Hold up. So here's what I've been feeding my Savannah monitor. Grub pie. There are some other varieties, but this was my first time buying from these guys, and I thought I'd give this one a try. It's an insectivorous diet mixed in here. So, and I see people, some people feed earthworms, and they feed fish, they feed turkey, and you ask 10 different people what to feed a Savannah monitor, and you're going to get 10 different answers. It's sometimes difficult to to really try to be on top of that, but he is eating this, and he seems to love it. I will try some of the other varieties the next time I order, but if you ever order this is kind of expensive. I don't remember right offhand, but I'm thinking somewhere around $45 for this container, but you get a lot of meals out of it. It's a powder. You mix it with boiling water, and then you let it set, and it becomes like a soft food. And I just put it into a container, which I can show in a later video if you're really interested. And then if you go back, I think I posted it here, not on Instagram for certain. I posted a video of the legless lizard actually eating it off a spoon. So that's what I feed him, and it has a whole bunch of good stuff in there. So I feel that this is probably a pretty good diet. He seems to be growing. I see no issues. Nothing with bad bones or anything like that, but I do crickets, dusted with vitamins and calcium. I do mealworms. I do all the insects that I can. I personally try to stay away from like turkey and things like that. I know a lot of people do it. I don't know. I just don't. Personally, for me, I'm not going to unless I feel like I really need to. But I think the grub pie is perfect for him. And he's a little bit bigger than leopard gecko, so a good sized cricket or dubia roach, a few of those makes a pretty decent meal for him. So when he gets bigger, maybe I'll branch out and maybe try a little bit of turkey and things like that. But then again, I'm not really for sure. I'm still, I'm learning it as I go along to, but offering different varieties of food is really key. So, that's kind of how I feel about it. Oh, did you see Brian Bychek blog where he got bitten by 20 Rainbow? I did not see that. To be completely honest, I'm nothing personal against Brian. I think he's a great guy. I just don't really like his vlog videos with all the other YouTube creators that have nothing to do with reptiles, but they're YouTube famous people. That sort of thing isn't my thing. But when I do see videos of his vlog where he is at his shop, I do watch those ones. But when he just hangs around other YouTubers and he brings animals in and they kind of just like use them for pranks and stuff, and I'm not bashing him. He does his own thing great, and then it's fine. It's not my thing to watch. That's all. Nothing personal against him or his vlog. Like I said, I just don't watch them all because not all of them are to my liking. But he's not making videos just for me. He's making videos for his tens of hundreds of billions of subscribers. So no hard feelings. I have nothing against the guy. In Tinley Park, I will gladly talk to him and say hi, and so it's all good there. But no, I haven't seen the episode, but maybe I should go. Maybe I should go check it out after this is done. So let's see. You ever thought about tegus? I say when I get my own house, I'm trying to get my parents don't want reptiles. And yeah, I feel your pain. My mom didn't want reptiles in the house either, and I had to wait till I moved out and had my own place before I really got into reptiles. So I have thought about tegus, and they are an animal that's on my radar. But again, it comes down to the adult size, and although we are planning to move, that again, I don't have space in this current location for an adult tegu. So the Savannah will be the biggest lizard I can keep terrestrially, and then I could potentially get an animal that does a little bit more vertical lifestyle, if you want to say. I don't want to really give away too many details because it may or may not happen. I'm still on the fence, but I could do one more fair size lizard, and I kind of already got it picked out. We just have to see. It's maybe coming from a fellow YouTuber, so I don't want to give away too much because I definitely don't want to put pressure on him about his babies that he may be hatching soon. So let's see. How long say you've been having reptiles? And okay, so I have been keeping for reptiles, as far as like legitimate like pet store hobby type style, since I was about 18, and I am 37 now. So I've been keeping reptiles pretty strongly though since I was 20. But I think like when I was 18, I did have a couple iguanas and a green anole out and things. So, and then if you also see that corn video I talk about when I got my first corn snakes, so it's been a good number of years. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but man, when I really think about the numbers, it's probably been nearly 20 years. I don't know, mental math quickly here. So it's been a while. I've had reptiles, a lot of different reptiles. That's some things you guys don't know because back then there wasn't YouTube and there was no social media. In fact, in the earlier days, of my old geezer days, that there was not even an internet to share this stuff. So I've had a lot of different reptiles. I will tell you that. I was really in this to be like a commercial breeder would be the correct term. I really in my earlier years, I really wanted to do that. I thought that's what I wanted, and I had quite the collection. I could tell you guys some stories. Man, I remember people would be like going out of business, and I would buy their entire collection of like, you know, 20 snakes, clubrids mostly, corn snakes and kings and milks, and then I would turn around and buy up the collection, keep cherry pick the ones that I liked for future breeders, and then turn around and sell the remaining animals. Of course, I would keep them, make sure everybody was feeding, everybody was healthy. I mean, I was flipping them, but not like here today, sold tomorrow sort of thing. Like I'd get them today, and I might not sell them for another month or two, just to make sure everybody, the animal as an individual was good and good and healthy. Because at the end of the day, the person who buys from me, some Hampstead animal, that's my name, my reputation. So I did do that, and it was quite profitable there for a little while. Some of you guys that are new to the hobby within the last 4 or 5 years, you guys don't even know what it was like 10 years ago. The hobby has changed so much, and while it's still booming, believe it or not, it was actually booming a lot more back then. And so I've had a lot of stuff. It comes with the territory. I wanted to be the guy at the show that had a little bit of everything for anybody who came up to my table. So, and that's the way it was. I was just actually telling somebody, like, it even depended on the shows I went to. At Cleveland, I could sell boas for days. I could sell boas, but the clubrids, they didn't sell very well. And then I turn around and go to Indianapolis, and my boas wouldn't sell. But corn snakes, I had people that were regular customers coming to me each and every month, buying something new. They came in, they wanted to see what new morphs I had, and buying regularly. I mean, I had regular customers. It was great. It was fun. It's a lot of work, that's for certain. You keeping 50 plus animals. That's a lot of care. So you can't jump into it lightly. So that's where I've gained a lot of experience, with these reptiles. So let's see. Next, let's see, what do we got here? Do you think green anacondas and retics should be kept in the hobby? Ooh. If I got to be completely honest, I'm going to say, probably going to get me in some trouble, but honestly, I think very few people can keep them appropriately. We'll put it that way. Am I concerned when I see a certain place out in California that pumps out retics by the thousands each year? Yeah, I certainly am. But he sells them. I can't imagine that a lot of them make it to adulthood, or otherwise we'd see a whole lot more retics. I know the retic market is big, and I'm not hating on retics. I just, there's not very many people who can keep those animals properly. Even same with the green anacondas, and even berms, all that big stuff. It may be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think there's a lot of people that can really keep those responsibly. But I know I don't have any, and that's because I don't want the responsibility of owning the large constrictors. When I walk into my reptile room, I want to be able to handle everything, or know that I'm okay to handle everything on my own. I'm an independent person to begin with. I like to just do my own thing. And when you own those big snakes, you've got to have protocols in place to where it's more than one person in the room, just in case the worst case scenario happens. And that's why I don't have anything venomous. I don't want the risk. And so, yeah, if you want my honest opinion, which probably is not very popular in the reptile community, yeah, I think it is a little concerning, the number of those things that are produced. I just don't think there's enough responsible people out there to take in all those babies. I don't even get. That's a whole topic by itself, and I'm certain I will make a lot of people mad if I, go any further than that. But me personally, I don't own them, and I have no hate for anybody who does have them. If that's your thing, that's your thing. It doesn't affect me directly. And as long as you're raising that animal appropriately, we're all good. You know, we're all reptile people. We're all brethrens of the of the same interests. So, you know, that's your thing. So, let's see. We're missing a few more here. Well, that's cool. This is Fat Jackson. That's cool. I had my first reptile. Was a green and old. Then I had a corn snake. I had to give the snake away because, you know, parents. Yep, I absolutely know parents. That's the way my mom was. She didn't like them. So I had to wait till I actually moved out on my own before I really got into snakes. She did allow me to have the iguanas, but, you know, we all know those aren't really great first-time pets. But, I mean, if, you know, at the time, that's for me in Northwest Ohio. Like, that was it. Like, there wasn't a selection. Like, it was green iguana. If you wanted a lizard, it was a green iguana. Of course, with the false information of, oh, you know, it won't outgrow its cage, so, you know, you're all good. It'll be fine. You know, so yeah, that's the bad information I got when I was growing up. So, and that was, you know, that was early to mid '90s. So, thankfully, things have changed, and, you know, knowledge has been spread. So, for the most part, there are still people who have their head in the sand. So, okay, so let's see. So, is that the same about the big lizards such as crocodilians and alligators and all the other big lizards? Absolutely. You know, it don't matter to me really what it is. If it gets big, like, you know, I don't think a lot of people really understand the commitment that the big stuff takes. You know, you know how many times I've seen, you know, different types of monitors that I know get super huge, but they're so dang cute as babies, and I would love to have them. You know, they're just adorable, but you know, I don't have the space. I don't have the resources to take care of such an animal. So, and I think a vast majority of the people in the hobby, they also don't have the resources to take care of them. So, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, I'm glad that they're in the hobby. I'm glad they're available, but at the same time, though, it's like, yeah, you know, it's one of those gray areas. But again, if you got one and you love it and you take care of it properly, you know, like Camp Kennan, you know, he's got those two, Slinky and I can't remember the female's name they just recently got. You know, you see how big they are and you see how big of an enclosure he has. And, you know, luckily for him, he can keep them outside. But, I mean, imagine like a fellow like myself who lives in Ohio. You know, I can't keep them outside, but maybe just a couple of months a year. And then it's too cold, so I have to bring them inside. So, you know, it's pretty much a bedroom of its own. So, yeah, I don't know. As long as, like I said, as long as you take care of the animal properly and you give it everything it needs to live a healthy, happy, seemingly happy life, then, you know, by all means, go ahead. But, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of those produced as well. So, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I guess we just, as a hobby, we kind of have to police ourselves, and, you know, we all have to take our own responsibilities, you know, and that goes back to those GoFundMe that I was talking about earlier. You know, people get this stuff, and then they're like, hey, I need some more money from everybody else who is responsible to help me buy a big cage. So, let's see. Josh the Lizard Man asks, which do you prefer, Wama pythons or blackheads? Oh, yeah, good question. Man, that's a tough one. Wama python or a blackhead? Man, I really like them both. But if I had to choose one or the other, I'd probably go blackhead. I probably would go a blackhead. I don't know, I guess it's because of that sharp black head that's contrasting with the rest of the body color. But Wamas, you know, they kind of have that weird, like, cryptic, like you're being put in a daze type look to them. So really, I mean, it really comes down to like a toss-up, really. But I do kind of like the blackheads just a little bit more. Let's see. Fat Jackson. Get into a lesser-known lizard and snake like African fat-tailed geckos or the Chinese rats. Yeah, absolutely I would. First of all, I love clubrids. Clubrids are my most favorite snake, and I know that I realize that incorporates a lot of different snakes. But for me, I guess, like, when I envision a snake, it's always like this, some type of, not necessarily a sin alone, but, you know, this somewhat medium-sized, slender, long snake, like, to me, like, that just, that's my mind goes to when I think of a snake. Like, I mean, obviously, I still think boas and stuff are snakes, but I don't know. I guess because this is kind of the snakes that were around, garter snakes and whatnot. So, colubrids definitely have a place in my heart. I love them all. Corn snakes being one of my favorites, but I do like a lot of the different odd stuff. I definitely would like to get like a blue beauty. I would definitely like to own one of those one of these days. I do like the Taiwans. I have seen the rats. Yeah, I mean, pretty much any colubrid is almost on my radar. I would consider a lot of different colubrids. So, as far as, let's see, the lizards go, yeah, you have fat tails. I love fat tails. I used to have some way back when. Let's see what other kind of oddball lizard have I had that many don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a snake person, so that's why I typically don't have a whole lot of lizards, but I do want to get more. And I actually, as he is crawling in the light, he may be going in the shed. You see how his belly's a little bit milky? Huh. Are you going in the shed? You going into blue? Maybe it's just the way this light is. I got a light, so that way I didn't have to have that light on and getting us that weird like halo effect. And man, my bald. But so I got a light over here to try to help fix that. Let's see. I've seen some more come up. No. Let's see. What is this? What is the worst snake I have owned? Wow, man. For me, the most worst snake I personally owned, and this is probably more of a cork than it is a representation of the whole species. But personally, for me, it was a black Mexican black king snake. That was it. I got it. The old poor man's indigo snake. Vile little booger that I owned. I actually bought a pair of them and then I quickly sold them. And the reason why I had such an issue with them is, they were bitey, especially the one. The one was worse than the other, but they were bitey, and but I can handle bitey. What was the worst is I could not hold them without them pooping and musking extreme amounts. And then when they ran out of fecal material to smear all over me, and this is God's honest truth, they would actually use blood. They would somehow secrete blood and smear that all. And I was like, you guys are devil spawn. Sorry. Next, you guys are gone. I can't keep you as a breeding pair and produce babies and have you pooping and smearing blood all over a potential customer. I couldn't. That just, sorry, but then I see other people have them, and they're darling little angels. So like I said, it's not a fair representation of the entire species. But you asked what my worst snake was. That was mine. That snake, it was too much. I just had to go bye. It was, yeah. Like I said, I didn't want to produce a whole bunch of little devil spawns like that and then try to sell them, and then I can't because potential customers getting blood smeared all over them. Like, I could just see that I wouldn't sell very many of them, and then I would have all those little devil spawns of my own to raise up and keep, and have that all smeared all over me. Okay, so let's see. I see we're missing some more comments here. Yeah, guess what? If you ask me to check out your channel, the best way, you want me to check out your channel, the best way, and this goes for anybody who watches this. First of all, don't ask me to check out your channel, and do not link your channel in the comments. What's going to happen is, and this ain't even me, this is YouTube. YouTube will flag your comment as spam, and then I won't really even see it until I go to my spam file, and which is rare because most of the time I'm on YouTube, it's through the apps on the phone or the tablet, and the only way I can see the spam files is if I go on my laptop. And the only time I go on the laptop is to upload videos and edit. So, okay, so So number one, don't ever ask, because YouTube will make you comment spam. Don't put a link, because that's also going to get you in the spam file. But here's how you get me to watch your channels, and it's simple. All you got to do is comment under my videos regularly enough, because see, here's what happens. So I see comments, and I read comments. I try to respond to every comment. I'm pretty certain I've responded to every comment, even if it's on videos that are old. So comment regularly. That will get you, because then I like to know who I'm talking to. So if I see your name pop up regularly, I go, and if you have a channel, I go check it out, because I want to know who I'm talking to. I like to know who, it just makes sense, So that's how you get me to see your channel, to get me to subscribe to your channel, is simply make yourself known by just showing that you watch my videos. A comment, leave me comments, tell me your likes, dislikes, whatever is going on with the video that you're watching. Leave the comment, and I'll come check out your channel, because like I said, I like to know who I'm talking to. So some of you guys know that if you put your link in the video in the comments, you're gonna go to the spam file, because somebody is even clever enough to tell me, hey, sorry, I'm in your spam file, but hey, check out my channel. It's like, well, if you know that's where you're going, that's not going to it's not going to help me any quicker, because like I said, I can't access those spam reports until I'm on the laptop. And and if I'm on the laptop, I'd much rather be editing and uploading than going through the spam file to see who's spamming the channel. So that's how you get my attention. You want my attention, and you want me to watch your channel. That's how you do it. So let's see. Do you have any good online breeders that you can talk about? Do I have any good online breeders that I can? Are you talking about other people who are breeders, like recommendations, or are you referring to, do I have breeders that I can talk about? You have to be a little more specific on your question. I'm not for certain if I understand exactly what you're asking. Let's see. Is this Orbits G? Let's see, I've got a lavender cow king snake, and all I want to do is bite. Is there any way that I can calm it down, because I handle it every other day apart from feeding? Well, here's the thing. The joys of king snakes. They are so food mind driven that here's the simple thing. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Make sure if you have other snakes that you don't hold them first. Like, since I've been holding these other snakes, I would not go pick up my king snake right now, because he's going to try to bite me. Well, why? Because this is a fat long tube just like this, so he thinks it's going to be dinner. Sometimes king snakes are just so food oriented. They bite, and they bite first and try to figure out if it was food later. But speaking of a lavender cow king, that is actually something that is on my wish list. Is to get a cow king, lavender albino cow king. But yeah, so I guess just from the general knowledge of knowing kings, they can be kind of a quirky little snake, only because, like I said, they're so food oriented. They think everything's food. They want to try to eat everything, whether it's food or not. I had an adult cow king male one time. When I'd clean his cage, I literally would put a sock on my hand to eliminate my heat signature, my scent, everything. And that worked for about 3 weeks. And then he's like, you know what? You're back again, and I'm just going to try to see if this is something I can eat. And he literally bit my hand in the sock. So I thought, well, I'll just slide my hand out of the sock. Problem solved. Snake's off my hand. Well, as I slid my hand off the sock, out of the sock, he only wrapped the sock even tighter. And so I thought, okay, there's no way he's going to try to eat the sock. Wrong, because he was trying to eat the sock. So yeah, king snake can be a little bit of a quirky snake in that regards, and that's why I would never recommend them as your first snake. I always kind of put those as like your second or third snake. Get something like this guy here that you can actually handle without too much of a problem. Yeah, and it just comes down to, you're just going to have to, first I would have to know the bite. I mean, is it a defensive bite, or is it a food response bite? You know, you have to try to determine which one you're getting. And if it's food response, then that could be more tricky, because if it's a defensive, then eventually you could earn its trust. But if it's food response, you know, it's sooner or later he just has to realize that he can't eat you, and that just sometimes they're just knuckleheads that way, and they just think with their stomach. So let's see. Okay, it's nice to talk to a reptile YouTuber who responds back or shows more care for subscribers. I might sound weird saying that, but thank you. Yeah, you know, absolutely, and I absolutely agree with you, and that's why I try to. I may not get to your comment right away, but as soon as I have free time, I answer comments. I answer them the best, and honestly, I can. And, you know, even if you're just telling me you got a new snake, or if you have a question, even if you just say, hey, I love the video, you know, I will respond back with, you know, like, hey, thanks, you know, I appreciate it. Because I appreciate that you guys take the time out of your day to, one, watch my videos, and to two, leave me a comment. You know, and the least I can do is reply back, because that's what I want for my channel. I want a good, healthy audience where we can all talk openly without, you know, without harsh criticism about reptiles, because, you know, that's what we all like, you know, and we all have different levels of knowledge. So, you know, let's all learn from each other. I'm still learning. I've had reptiles for like almost 20 years, and, you know, I still don't say I'm an expert. This is why I say I have experience, but I don't have a whole lot of, you know, I'm not an expert. I have experience. That's all I have, you know, and I share that. That's where, you know, my stuff comes from. So, and I'm humble enough to say, hey, I don't know, like that Savannah monitor, you know, that's all new territory for me, and I am not afraid to say that. But I'm willing to learn, and I listen, and yeah, so I absolutely love to reply to comments to you guys, and because I appreciate you guys being there, you know. Every YouTuber will say it, like, this channel doesn't exist without you guys, and I mean, that's the honest truth, you know. If you guys don't talk to me, I don't know what you like, you know. It's a two-way street, and, you know, if you guys take the time to respond to me, and so I want to take time to respond to you. Like I said, it don't matter if it's a video that's, you know, a year old. I still have comments coming in on those, and I will still reply to them. So I thank you. I thank you for being here and putting up so many comments for me to read. Are we back to John the Lizard Man? You're asking me again, or are we repeating here? What is your favorite Australian species and why? I don't know if that was a repeat question or if you forgot. I don't. My favorite, I don't know if I have an absolute favorite. Let's see. How can I? My parents made deal snakes before I moved back in with them for 2 months. Okay, so you want help trying to get your parents. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna need a little more info. Like, what's the level of, like, your parents? Are they like, you know, like, death to all snakes? Or are they like, yeah, I don't know if I like snakes? So, you know, I mean, what is their gauge on snakes? Like, my mom was afraid of them, and she absolutely didn't want nothing to do with them. But she has since come around. But so you're gonna have to fill me in a little more details. But the best thing is, for anybody who doesn't like snakes, the best remedy of that is for them to be around them. I had my neighbor guy, this true story. Shortly after moving into this house, I wanted to take pictures of my reptiles. Sun was setting, so that was the best side of the house to get pictures, and it happened to be my front yard. And my neighbor next door sees me out front with one of my ball pythons, you know, and he's like, man, you're crazy for having a snake. And I kid you not, he came over, he looked at it, he was definitely afraid of them, but within 3 months, he had one of his own. And why? Because he just, like this, you see this happening, and, you know, how can you be afraid of this? This thing ain't even doing nothing, you know, he's just crawling around cruising, and, you know, that's why I do the reptile shows, because the more people have a positive experience, or just an experience, and they see that these things aren't bloodthirsty and going to eat their children like Discovery Channel tells them, they learn that, they're not so bad. But so I guess it just depends on the level of fright your parents have. But if they're slightly open to the ideal of it, then just let them be around them and show that, especially a ball python. I mean, you could hold it in your hand and the thing would probably stay curled up, and just show them that your setup is good, they ain't gonna escape, and all that kind of stuff. So this video is getting quite long, and so I'm gonna wrap it up. I want to thank each and every one of you. I don't know what the top number was, so that's gonna be it. Till next time, later.